Good afternoon to everyone here. Awesome to be here. All those words that were described by the last panel, I'll repeat all of them about this event. So, we're talking about the future of aviation and how to reach tomorrow's potential today. Imagine the time when human beings wanted to fly and there was no aviation available and everybody had that wish to fly. I think we're at a similar moment here today where we know and we've had the experience to fly, but the kind of flying that we can do going forward hasn't been experienced by human beings. And therefore, it can change a lot of what we do. Changing aviation from propellers and pistons to the hum of electric propulsion, changing the notion that you don't have to go all through a runway and actually have a vertical takeoff and landing in the middle of the urban spaces that we live in. It's absolutely a new world to imagine. There are 8 billion of us on the planet. This is a reality. The planet is getting a little more difficult to get around. People who drove here today understand what's happening on our roads, and this is one of the best places on the planet to drive. There's also need for new ways to drive mobility. There is need for economic acceleration of a very different kind as more and more human beings move towards urban centers. And finally, we are in the midst of an energy transition. So we can't just keep using the same technologies that have driven us for the long distance flying that we have seen so far. So with all of that in play, one has to imagine an absolutely new world. And that's what we as a company do, Honeywell. Honeywell is really pivoted on 3 megatrends: the future of aviation, automation, and the energy transition. We have history. We've been around in the early origins of the technologies that we work with for more than a century. And therefore, we've seen many transitions on the planet in the world of technology across these megatrends. So, if you think about the future of mobility, automatically a lot of us think about what's happening in the road transport. So the movement from the ICE engines to the combustion engines to electric mobility and then autonomous. That is something that is all around us. And right here in Abu Dhabi, in 2 days, we'll have history. We'll have man racing against machine at the Yas circuit. That's truly the autonomous racing that's coming together. It is going to change how the mobility will look like on the roads. But as you think about that beyond the roads, and you think about aviation, is it happening in aviation already? You're at DriftX and you would believe and say, yes, it is happening in aviation. It is happening in aerospace, but it's happening in a very different way compared to what we see on the roads. Yes, there is new technology, new capability, as the panel before us just was talking about, but it's also a very different way to think about the entire ecosystem. There are companies today who are saying we don't need to do business the way it is done today. We don't need to specialize between who makes the aircraft, who flies the aircraft, who actually operates the airports, and so on. That there are integrated business models coming together in this space. So there's a lot of innovation that is happening in the aviation industry as we think about this new phenomena of electric and the vertical takeoff and landing. Honeywell saw this nearly 7 years back. In 2017, we created the first Center of Excellence for Urban Air Mobility, and we are partnering with a lot of players, many of who are here, to really help them drive the new innovation. The reason we are able to do that because the vision of moving air cargo, the urban and regional air mobility, and also in defense is something that we have been working for decades now. And now really bringing this whole capability together in this urban air mobility with an integrated technology offering across propulsion and avionics. And that is something that a lot of partners value us for because we know how to do it. And we also have the additional capabilities on energy transition and automation that we can leverage in this new era of the future of aviation. A number of aircrafts that you see here today and many, many more that are around the world are really blazing the new tracks of how to create this across the world. There are some examples here that I may just focus on. You see from the top, the second right, you see the aircraft, the integrated avionics that will be on that aircraft, the flybar and SATCOM that will be on the Pipistrel aircrafts, and many, many more that you see here. And what do we provide? We provide the cutting edge SATCOM, the fly-by-wire, the precision navigation, and a lot of the sensing and the other capabilities that are required for these aircraft. So there's a lot of partnership that is required to make this industry happen. And specifically here, right here in Abu Dhabi and in Dubai, in UAE, we are going to see some of the first innovations because of the partnership that the government, the industry, and the ecosystem are bringing together. Really looking forward to what Joby and Archer will do in this country in the next year, hopefully, as they create aircrafts between Abu Dhabi and Dubai. And for those who travel these cities regularly, it's going to really be an absolute breakthrough innovation that will happen. The EHang certifications that have happened with pilotless aircrafts and therefore moving cargoes, the autopilot cargo movement that is already envisioned, a lot of new change is coming through right now as we speak. So finally, if I come back to that future imagination that we can potentially do tomorrow, these two pictures really signify where we are. I think it is that wish to fly. It's the excitement, the anxiety, and the adrenaline of the first flying that human beings did. From there, to imagine a world where this becomes just like getting out of your home, getting into your car, and driving out. And that's the future that one is imagining today. Thank you so much for listening to me.